Praise God. Praise God. All right, now we got kicked off today with a prayer service, and I'm in the mood to praise God. Do you have somebody else say, praise God today? We thank the Lord for what He is doing with our city, and ask that He continue to be with us. I thank my friend, Congressman Thompson. Please give him a round of applause. He's always been available to me to give me advice and assistance where I need it. He set me up a little bit today. They did not tell me that they would be having my favorite song today. And I'd like to thank Ms. Tulu for doing a beautiful rendition. That song is near and dear to me and to my sister and my brother because as babies, my mother would hold us in her hands and sing that song to us. My mother was a flight attendant and she traveled very frequently, so when she was unable to do so, my father would attempt to sing the song to us. My mother had a beautiful voice. My father was a good man. Standing before you today, I cannot help but be filled with emotion and mindful of my parents. This moment truly symbolizes the fruit of their commitment to raising a family under the belief of viewing the community as a family. My beautiful mother, Mayor Lumumba, was an infectious spirit. She poured all that she had and all that she was into everything and everyone she encountered. I witnessed her grace and generosity as she opened the doors of our home to a multitude. Some who were simply in search of a little Mississippi hospitality, and others who were literally in search of a home. If you ever met her, you would never forget her. In fact, she was the first one to say that her baby boy was brilliant. While my father, on the other hand, needed a little more convincing. As I stand on the very stage that my father stood on 4 brief years ago, I remember a man who was not only a model of fatherhood, but a person who embodied a religious commitment to people. All people. He was a fiercely principled man who stopped at nothing to ensure that the needs of others were placed before his own. I had the unique privilege to live with my hero. A son only holds his father's hand for a short while, but he holds his heart forever. It was the sacrificial spirit of both of my parents that led our young family to Jackson, Mississippi in 1988. And in 1988, I met a girl. And my world has not been the same ever since. She is a wonderful mother, amazing wife, brilliant scholar, and my best friend. I love her dearly, and I thank the Lord for sending me such an amazing helpmeet. He truly treats me better than I deserve. I know what the Lord guided us heaven. We can't even begin to imagine where He will take our young family. This room is filled with many who have had a profound for me, and always provided a remarkable example for their baby brother. I'm overjoyed. Please give them a round of applause. I'm overjoyed to have many members of my family here with me today. If you are a member of my family, please stand to be recognized. Thank you. I love you. Since I cannot possibly get to all of the names of the individuals who are in attendance today that have made a mark on my life, if you fall into one of the categories I'm about to mention, please stand. And once we are all standing, we will have one big round of applause. I see my church family with me today. Please stand. My teachers. Organizational comrades. That's a big group. I need to see people stand. Classmates. College, high school, junior high, middle school, elementary. Elementary. Former teammates. I know I saw at least one of them earlier today. All right. Fraternity brothers. All right. And friends. Please give yourselves a round of applause. You may take your seats. I thank you all for sowing into my life. I am truly a product of all that I have met. We observe today not a victory of our chosen candidate, but a celebration of our unity. Today we applaud our commitment towards changing not only the complexion of our city, but the character of our world. Right now, the eyes of the world are on our cherished home. And we are presented with the opportunity to claim a new story. A new narrative that illustrates that we are ready for change and capable of progress. Right here in Jackson, Mississippi, we have a city invested in the principles of human rights, justice, and equity. This is the building of the new society. This means that we will build our city without moving people away, but instead lifting people up. The opportunity we have before us is to set a new standard. And in our quest, we invite all people of goodwill and sincerity to join us. Now is the moment that we transfer our ideas into reality. Standing, prepared to fight through the moments of adversity that are sure to come. And being bold enough to navigate through our seemingly impossible differences to discover common ground. Understanding that the aim of argument or of debate should not be victory, but progress. As we face the looming threat of underperforming schools, a budget shortfall, a crumbling infrastructure, furloughed city employees, crime, and a water crisis, to face these issues head on. We must understand that it is not so much where we stand that is of great significance, as it is the direction in which we are moving. So we will employ our collective genius in order to address our challenges. We must be patient with one another and remain committed to our goal and our vision. We no longer can delay the change we seek. We must be daring in our efforts to aggressively attack these issues that ail our city. Although we understand that the corrections we desire will not happen overnight or perhaps within the course of 4 years, it is necessary that we demonstrate clear indications of where we are headed. We must begin with the end in mind. This work can no longer wait. We base far too much of what we do on the expectation of tomorrow. And tomorrow is not promised to any of us. So we must build the future of Jackson today. It is important to have rigorous assessments of where we are. But it is more important that we don't get stuck there. So we have to establish practical solutions to our problems. And we can do so by executing a strategy of collective work and responsibility and shared sacrifice. This is what I mean when I say I want Jackson to be the most radical city in the world. Becoming the most radical city in the world does not mean that we will be reckless in our pursuits, but rather intentional in our efforts to create a city beyond contradiction, better than the world has yet known. As we find ourselves questioning the moral compass of this nation more and more each day, I am convinced that what we need to realize a better condition exists within us. When everything around you seems to be lacking in integrity, what do? You find it in yourself, and you begin to change the world right from where you are standing. Now, I wish I could take credit for that profound realization, but it honestly belongs to the writers of Ebony and I, one of Ebony and my favorite television shows, Madam Secretary. I sometimes find inspiration in some of the most unlikely places. Change the world from right where you're standing. So the moment is ours to do just that. Change the world from right where we are. The challenge set before us is a tall order, but I truly believe we are capable of achieving our aims. However, this city and this world won't be changed because of one individual, but because of a great people and a collective effort. I believe that this is the moment, that this is the place, and that we are the people to get the job done. In fact, we have to be the architects of the change in which we seek. Because for so long, Mississippi has been known as the symbol of limits. It has been known as a haven for oppression for some of the most horrible suffering in the history of the world. So it is only fitting that we should become the leaders of that change. Not only in Jackson, Mississippi, but beyond the borders of this nation into the global community. We will be the model for change and leave a lasting legacy of centering marginalized people. For me, legacy is not about an individual. Legacy is about the immortality of meaningful work and the contribution of community and how that must live longer than any of us. I don't believe that legacy should be bound up in who we were, but more so the efficacy of our work and how it positively impacted people's lives. And that's what it means to be a Jacksonian. That's what it means to be a Jacksonian. I said that's what it means to be a Jacksonian. Time and again, Jacksonians have demonstrated that they are willing to sacrifice to see the progress of our home. We've seen this determination in citizens who have kept their businesses right here, maintained their residences right here, supplemented the education system with their own resources, and voted overwhelmingly to tax themselves to improve our infrastructure. This is who we are. The ways in which we have been able to reach consensus across the intersections of our identities should show the rest of the state and the country that people who are different can have the same concerns and work together to accomplish similar goals. That we can maintain unity in the midst of our diversity. Many people have asked me how I plan to overcome the seemingly insurmountable issues. The only way we will see true change in this place and throughout is through joint commitment and engagement. So I have been sincere in my assertion that it will take all of us, that I want to hear from you in order to transform Jackson into a better inheritance for our children. A place that not only will illustrate the viability of the South, but the beauty of coming together to ensure that we are on the progressive side of history. Because of the work that we will do together, it will be said that the commitment and the bravery of the people of Jackson led us into a world where government is truly of, by, and for the people. That's our story, and we're sticking to it. I said, that's our story, and we're sticking to it. That's our story, and we're sticking to it. Free the land. Free the land. Free the land. By any means necessary. Thank you. Thank you. I love you. I love you. It is an honor to serve you, and I look forward to changing the world with you. God bless.
And you just